Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Back here, sitting in front of my Zoom camera under lockdown, but I've got good news, and that's the fact that the Government Gazette has now in it the special conditions or the specific directions for lockdown level 4 for car dealerships. And I'm joined by Bobby Petkov, dealer principal of MitMak Motors, and he joins me to understand what does this new government regulation mean for car dealerships. How's it, Bobby?
I'm very well, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's today's one of the happiest days of the last 6 weeks, and you?
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Have you been to your dealership today?
Yes, sir. Definitely. We
Definitely.
are back. We're back doing what we love, spending time with our colleagues, with our friends.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome news.
So tell me, Bobby. Let's start with yesterday, or let's start with pre-yesterday. We had a set of government regulations. We had a government gazette that said that vehicle sales under specific directions meant that car dealerships could sell cars, but we didn't know the specific directions. How did you feel 2 days ago?
Wow, it was most probably one of the lowest points of my career. It's just so uncertain, anxious, scared, a lot of emotions running through my mind, up and down, just very unsure and unsecure. Not a nice feeling. It was not pleasant.
What did you think was going to happen? I mean, what I know what we were hoping was going to happen, but honestly, in your dealership, like, where did you find yourself 2 days ago? What were you thinking about? Was your business at risk? And what were you hoping was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of thoughts ran through my mind. The thought of, having to make very hard decisions to possibly, God forbid, start retrenching some of my staff, start thinking about scaling down. I mean, we've got three big branches, thought about maybe going back to two branches, 30% staff complement less. Yeah, it was a lot of negativity and you know, defensive sort of business planning that was going on in my mind. And myself and my team are not the defensive type, so it was very strange. It was emotional, very emotional.
Well, if I know you, Bobby, Bobby is one of the most positive dealers that I know. And if Bobby was in a state of uncertainty, imagine how the rest of the industry was feeling. And then comes last night. Did you see it coming? Did you see the Government Gazette document coming, or did it come as a surprise?
Well, absolutely not. I definitely saw it coming. The motor industry is filled with amazing, talented, creative, very hardworking people, and I see you as the forefront of those people. I mean, you, your team, and your colleagues have done such an amazing job to convince the government, the necessity and the scale of which the motor industry can help, restart and reboot the economy and start, turning those big wheels in the positive direction. So, by all means, it wasn't a surprise. I was actually very impressed that it happened in a week, even though that felt like 10 years. It really felt like a decade. From first, putting the proposal down in front of Mr. Patel to actually getting a signature on 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 a document that was almost identical to the proposal, which showed me the level of expertise that came from yourself, your team, and your colleagues in the motor industry to put forward a document that was perfectly understood, read, and agreed upon by Mr. Patel. It was awesome. I definitely saw it coming. I'm just so thankful and glad that it came in the week. It was good news.
Well, I think the whole industry is doing backward somersaults, popping champagne, so let's go through this Gazette document for a second, and then find out how you have thought about it, and what things you're doing inside your dealership to bring what's in this document to life. So the document centers around 3 phases. The first phase is 30% of staff are allowed to be on your dealership floor. The second item is the majority of car sales must be done remotely via internet or telephone. And then home deliveries of fully sanitized vehicles are mandatory, and test drives are only by appointment in all 3 of these phases. And where possible, virtual electronic signatures have to be done. Let's talk about MitMak Motors in Pretoria. 30% of staff. Can you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a long discussion last week already. Are we going to be effective with 30% staff? And the answer is absolutely. We will be 100% effective with 30% staff at work. All the teams that handle phone calls, so our call center works from home. We've rigged them with equipment, printers, fast enough internet, laptops. So that's taken care of. We can get fed leads. F&Is, only signing F&I will be at each branch. So there will be 1 F&I per branch, where there used to be at the main branch 6. So the F&I that's at the branch only handles signatures, does not load applications, does not follow out on payouts, does not do validations, only signatures, verifies the client's documents, and that's it. In terms of cleaning staff, that's where I think it's most felt. If you ask me, because we've got an open showroom, it tends to get a bit dusty. So the guys that used to clean a surface area were 6. Now they have to be 1 or 2. So not every car will get cleaned every day, but it's okay. I mean, people do understand that. Obviously, the car won't be 100% clean on the outside, as long as it's clean and sanitized on the inside. People sort of not forgiving, but they are understanding coming to the showroom floor. So in all honesty, 30%, thank you very much. We'll take it.
Good stuff. And the other 70%, support staff from home.
Support staff from home. I have, made a hard decision and have decided that I will rotate my cleaning staff and my weekly wage staff on 2-week rotation, so each and every person can have an opportunity to work. And we are fortunate enough for now financially to be able to keep everyone and pay everybody during the tough times until we are allowed 50, and then obviously increase the staff complement. But support staff from home, telephone calls, sales get done on the phone. The only salespeople at the dealership are the people that action the sale, take the car out, do the PDIs, do the running around, the preparation of the vehicle, make sure alignment, balancing, tires are done, and then send off the car to the customer. But the selling and all the technical stuff gets done at home on the telephone.
Which I suppose ticks the box of the next requirement of the Government Gazette, which is the majority of car sales must be done remotely. So it sounds to me like only the physical, potentially test drive, or the physical work that needs to be done at the dealership is being done by the staff there. Otherwise, if a consumer phones in, is the call handled by somebody at home, not somebody at the dealership?
Absolutely. The call's handled first of all by our call center, then allocated to a salesperson, handled from home. All questions are answered, application forms are taken, documents are sent back and forward, all from home. Nothing gets done at the dealership on that level at all. 0.
Lovely. So you're giving this particular item full tilt. So home deliveries with fully sanitized vehicles are mandatory. How do you read that? And what have you done to give it life?
So I send out a compliant person, so a person that has got the NCA card and can verify original documents with the delivery. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, the F&I that stands on the floor. It can be a person like an F&I assistant. that has the necessary qualifications to verify payslips, verify ID, and check all the documentation using the technology that we have at hand. The vehicle gets sanitized before it gets sent out inside, and we wrap all the danger areas in plastic. So there's lots of companies out there. We wrap the steering wheel, the gear lever, the door handles. We wrap that car in plastic as much as possible, including a plastic seat cover. The driver gets out of the vehicle wearing gloves, a mask. He will then come out of the vehicle, remove all the plastics, wipe down everything again with the special bacteria killing type of a chemical, wipe down everything again, the handover takes place, and it's done.
Lovely. And how many cars have you delivered today?
9 cars. We've
9
been blessed
cars. Wow.
to deliver
9 cars.
Yes,
in that fashion, and you
Yes,
didn't see any problems. I mean, you must have had some teething problems that you would have had to change little things, but by and large, home deliveries of fully sanitized vehicles worked for you.
100%. Clients were very happy. In terms of time, because we've got less staff, we've got less drivers. So, for example, we had to be at a certain place at 3:00. We only managed 3:45, but, we are dealing with humans, communication. At 2:30 already, sorry, ma'am, we're going to be slightly late. Do you mind? Should we come tomorrow? And people are understanding. They know that it's our first day. We still need to find our feet. No problems. All 9 went smoothly. I'm planning more tomorrow.
Lovely. And then test drives by appointment only. What does that mean to you, and how did you deal with test drives today? Did you get any test drives into your dealership?
So I did. Yes, I did, sir. We had 2 test drives, and the client was expected 9:00 and 11:00. So it was it was on 2 buckies. It was on a Ford Ranger and a Nissan MP300. The vehicle got washed.
Were those 2 downgrades you told me about?
No, sir. No. Those are happening later in the week.
Okay.
So vehicles got washed, sanitized. Client came in. We did a verification check on the customer, make sure that the person in front of us is the actual person. We insisted the client take more gloves and a mask. The salesperson also wore a mask and gloves. Salesperson sat on the back left seat. Client sat on the driver's seat, went for a drive, came back happy, no problems. Everybody was happy.
And did they buy the car?
Yes, they did, sir.
They did.
We're
Lovely.
delivering we're delivering those 2 tomorrow.
Lovely.
We weren't fast enough with the paperwork from the customer side. There was a little bit of delays.
Okay, and then the last point in this particular phase 1 was virtual and electronic signatures. Have you implemented that, or are you still using physical signatures?
No, fully virtual. We've got a electronic tool, so we use iPads with a free app that. So what we've done is we've uploaded all our standard documents with a signing pad and a pen. All our standard documents, each and every time, for example, issue an extended warranty, it populates. So it was a little bit of an IT scramble for about a week or so to figure it out.
But you did this during lockdown, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when you buy, for example, a Ford Ranger and you want an extended warranty, the extended warranty will then populate onto our iPad, little software program that we wrote, and you use your pen, sign it on the iPad, it populates everywhere, and you just email it back to the office, and they send it off for payout. No paper at all.
Lovely. So there, ladies and gentlemen, you have a dealership who has taken on board these 5 points that are required by the Government Gazette. Bobby Petkov from MitMak Motors got into the swing of things way before this Government Gazette was even issued. So then, Bobby, phase 2 takes you up to 60% of staff, limited customer interaction, and social hygiene and distancing needs to be in place. And then on-site pickups and deliveries of fully sanitized cars are then allowed. And then we get into phase 3 on the 8th of June. So there's about 6 weeks between now and the 8th of June. And no, I lie. It's less than 6 weeks. It's 4 weeks, is it?
Yeah.
Between now and the 8th of June. And that particular phase lasts until alert level 4 is lifted. And then you can have your full staff complement in the dealership, and customers are allowed to visit the site. The government gazette is unclear about how long phase 1 should last and how long phase 2 should last. But if you just do the maths, it looks like phase 1 and phase 2 last 2 weeks each, which takes you to the 4 weeks to the 8th of June. How are you reading phase 1 and phase 2 and the length of time?
Exactly the same way. We in this morning's meeting, our target date is the 8th of June to be fully operational, and I read it exactly the same way that you do, 100%.
Lovely. And then on AutoTrader's site, we've seen a surge in search demand. I mean, for the last couple of days, since the 10th of May, as a matter of fact, for the last 3 days, we've had over 1.3 million searches every single day to cars that are advertised by dealers like Bobby from MitMak Motors. And so there's definitely consumer demand. There's an increase in searches for cars under 200,000 Rand and a 300% increase in searches for cars under 50,000 Rand. What kinds of consumers are coming to your dealership, and do they fit the downgrade trend, and do you see them in financial trouble, or is it just business as usual for most consumers?
So a little bit of both. We've had out of the 9, we've had 3, if I may call it, downgrades, where a client gives us a vehicle and takes a little bit of money out or reduces a payment. We had a lady that reduced the installment by 1,700 Rand today, plus the 300-400 Rand that she saved on insurance. I mean, that's over 2,000 Rand saving. She's still got a nice car. It's maybe not as spec as the one that she drove, but she's still in a good place, with mobility when it comes to mobility. But the other cars that we sold were straight up deals. Customer liked what he or she saw, did the application, bought the vehicle, went through finance, and took delivery. So I think it's still a little bit early to see if that influx of downgrades is coming, but there's definitely constant communication with our sales staff on people wanting to downgrade. It's not as evident as I thought it would be in the first day, but I think in a couple of days we'll have a more clearer picture. Definitely.
Well, those 3 downgrades out of 9 is 33% of customers that you delivered cars for today did a downgrade, and 33% I'm pretty sure is not. It wasn't that high pre-lockdown. I mean, how many downgrades did you get pre-lockdown?
Yeah, not that many. No, not that many. Pre-lockdown, I would, our company strategy was, sell to mommy, sell to daddy, wait for the kids to come out of school, sell to the kids, sell to the friends, and not a lot of downgrades. But yeah, it's more evident after COVID-19 appeared. Definitely more inquiries for downgrades during lockdown and coming out of lockdown.
So people are under financial pressure, and so this has probably come at an opportune time. So Bobby, turning to the future, through phase 1, through phase 2, through phase 3, what do you think the South African economy, and particularly the South African automotive economy, is going to look like? How fast do you think it's going to recover? Are we in an economy where used cars are going to be buoyant? And what do you see for the future for MitMak Motors and for the South African automotive industry?
So this whole lockdown and this whole negativity that surrounds the lockdown has brought a lot of positivity as well, in terms of gearing ourselves for the future, gearing ourselves to be able to digitally retail vehicles. I love the fact that I now can provide that convenience of a delivery. Just off topic, we can do country deliveries. Even though we're not allowed to cross borders, we have got companies that come and collect, load it on a truck, and deliver in Cape Town. No problem. It costs a little bit of extra money, but if you're prepared to make a little bit of smaller profit on your vehicle, you can do that. So I believe pre-owned vehicles will definitely grow. 2 to 3 months, we'll be back in into the targets that we were January, February, and March. I think by September it will be business as usual before lockdown. That's my prediction. And I saw it today. I've been seeing it in the amount of leads that we've received over the last week or so, because the consumers found out we're about to open. They know that they can now engage with us and buy vehicles and trade in, downgrade, upgrade, whatever. I think 3 months, then we'll be back in full swing. I really believe that, especially on pre-owned vehicles, because it's all relative. The guy downgrading, from an X5 is going into a 5 Series, and the guy downgrading from a Porsche or something bigger, Range Rover, is going into his X5, and so it goes. It's just all relevant. I think there's a buyer or there's a consumer out there looking for every vehicle on our showroom floors.
Yeah, to generalize is dangerous. So to Bobby's point, on AutoTrader, we've seen an increase in leads over the last couple of days. Telephone calls have tripled in the last 10 days compared to pre-lockdown periods, or should I say during lockdown periods. Total leads have increased by 69% in the last 2 weeks to dealers. And our site demand in the past 24 to 48 hours has absolutely gone wild. So the moment consumers have learnt that car dealers are opening, they have come to search like nobody's business. It's almost like it is a new candy store that has opened. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend Bobby Petkov from MitMak Motors in Pretoria. And if there are any consumers watching this, I know that we put this together for the industry, but if there are any consumers watching this, go and buy a car from Bobby Petkov. I promise you, you won't be sorry. So Bobby, any final words? And then we will call it a day.
We just, wow, as an industry, as a bunch of colleagues, we are so thankful that we can finally get back to business and do what we love. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Love it. There you have it. Bobby Petkov, MitMak Motors. Cheers, everybody.